In this video, we are going to set up our domain, but not for the websites at this time, which I've done in a previous video, but we are going to set that up for the email service, for the marketing automation services. If you come back here and if you check out my previous video, which I've done on the funnel deploying, we are going to do a very similar thing, but this is going to be for email services. It's gonna be just slightly more complex because we are going to add more than 2 DNS records, but the flow is basically pretty much the same. So you come in here, you can see that I have purchased a domain, which I'm going to use this for demonstration, where I had a typo. So that's it's going to be useful for this demonstration again. We come into email services, and basically this is where you can add your own service. If you don't see Lead Connector here, then contact your agency, or if you are using Mailgun or like an outside third-party integration, then it might be a little different. Lead Connector is the default system that GoHighLevel uses, so I highly recommend to use this one because this is the easiest to set up. If you are a more advanced user, you can use Mailgun, but then you will know how to set this up. You have to know that once your account is ready, you can already send out emails without doing anything, and you can send out from your actual domain. The caveat to that, though, is that the verification is not going to come from your domain. I know it might be a little bit over your head if you're not technical, but it basically means that it might say that the email came from peter@poweredbysystems.com via VIA verified by send.sem whatever this is.com. It basically means that this is verified. This is a verified domain, if you will. And so the problem with this, though, is that a lot of people are using this at GoHighLevel. It makes life easier because you don't have to set up your own, but at the same time, your deliverability is going to be impacted heavily. So if you have a domain and you have already warmed that up, which has a really great deliverability, then obviously you would want to use your own domain. And then people would also see only your domain, not verified via something random letters. So it gives you more credibility and also gives you better deliverability. So this step is extremely important. I know it's working by default, but don't use that. I would recommend that. So click dedicated domains and IP. You can also purchase your own dedicated IP, which is a more advanced stuff. I don't think it's necessary until you are sending lots of emails, like hundreds of thousands of emails, but you can also play around with this one. I think it's not necessary as a beginner. You can add your domain and you will do pretty much the same as we were doing with the website domain in the other video, systems-led-growth.com. It's also very important if you are having this already set up in a G Suite or in another system as your one-on-one emailing service, then this might cause some problems. To avoid those problems, you can just hit lc dot, and basically you are making a lead connector specific subdomain, and this is what you are setting up. This avoids any kind of confusion if your root domain is already set up with G Suite or another emailing platform when you do your one-on-one email communication, because that's also important, right? You are communicating with customers and everything. And then basically you would separate that to a subdomain, and your marketing communication would be verified by this subdomain. I think it's a good compromise because your domain still looks legit. There will be like a small LC subdomain in front, and that's pretty much it. So you can, once you type this in, you can hit add and verify. And then basically there is gonna be a pop-up with 5 different DNS records, which we are going to add the Namecheap DNS editor or the GoDaddy if that's what you are using. And I would highly recommend to do the same thing, add manually, not the automatic integration. And as I said, the only difference will be that there will be 5 DNS records, not just 2. So you can already come back to Namecheap and then just copy and paste. I'm just gonna do the rest of the 4 and cut that out from the video to make it quicker, and then see you in a bit. At some platforms, such as Namecheap, the MX records can be separated or set up a little bit differently, like it's not after each other. GoDaddy, if I remember correctly, you can put under like the same, like under each other. But for some reason, Namecheap is set up differently. And so you have a separate section for MX records. So that's why you kind of like have to set up a little bit differently. but then I just come down here and then add these MX records. Yeah, priority is 10 here. I think GoHighLevel doesn't tell you that, but it's 10. So you just hit 10 and you are going to be fine. And then once it's set up and all saved, make sure that you actually save them, not just edit and leave it like that. You come back to GoHighLevel and click verify and add that domain. Well, after a couple of seconds, you see that it's almost all verified. Don't worry about this. It's probably set up. You just have to click verify domain a couple more times. It's gonna drop out to like the main domain section you will see in a bit, and then you just have to go back and try to re-verify and such. So that's gonna be fine. SSL pending. Just click verify now. It's gonna go back to that area where we were before. You just do this a couple of times until all of them switch to verified. Yeah, so this one worked. Then for some reason, there is a 6th domain here, which GoHighLevel is not giving you up front. You just have to also set this one up. Come back here. You can put it along these, txt. Copy the second one and then save. And then hit verify domain again. And now I was lucky. I didn't have to do this like 5 times. It actually issued the SSL, and this one is already ready to use. If you come back here and hit verify domain, you can double check, but it's pretty much done. On the outside, on that big card, it says SSL issued and everything is green, then it's properly set up, but you can come back here. Well, it's not verified still, but the reason being it showed SSL issued is because this is an optional field. I highly recommend you to come back here and actually get this verified. Do this a couple of times until this one also gets verified, because this will also improve your deliverability. So this is an important part. Well, we've reached to the end of this video. Your emailing domain is also set up, and I will see you in the next one.